Joe, one of your favorite people, Judge Emmett Sullivan, was ordered to vacate the ruling against Michael Flynn, and he has not done so. He said he wants to weigh the department's arguments now at least into July. What is going on here? How long can he continue to stonewall here?
Well, that is an open question. The order from the court is transmitted to the trial judge in something called a mandate. That mandate issues 30 days after the court issues its ruling, unless the court takes the extraordinary action of issuing it right away, which it did not do in this case. So Judge Sullivan has 30 days to comply with the order, even though the case has been published. It is pretty apparent that he's decided to at least save a little bit of face by telling everybody not to file any more papers in his court, and that he's contemplating additional legal actions, such as waiting for one of the judges on the circuit court to ask for a rehearing en banc. Now, that's highly unlikely, but nothing in the Flynn case has been normal. So it is conceivable that several judges on the circuit court could ask for a rehearing en banc. It usually requires a majority of the sitting judges to agree to a rehearing en banc. There's no evidence that that's underway, but it is obviously something that, given the bizarre conduct of Judge Sullivan, that may very well be what he's waiting for. Now, he doesn't have the right to petition for a rehearing en banc because he's not a party. He's not a person who has the right to bring petitions before the court. He was only asked to defend himself when a petition was filed by General Flynn and joined in by the Department of Justice. So I think it's obvious that Sullivan's conduct is bizarre and out of the range, and given the rather strong language in the circuit court opinion, one would thought that a normal judge would move to dismiss the case immediately, but he's chosen not to do so. So presumably he's thinking about something else. God only knows what it is.
What do you suspect is the core explanation for his bizarre behavior? What's the reason he's acted like this throughout this trial?
Well, his conduct is completely inconsistent with his previous behavior as a trial judge. And so the only explanation that remains available, given the bluntness of the Justice Department's reason for dismissing the case, which is they found out that their prosecutors, that is the Mueller prosecutors, violated the Constitution and denied General Flynn his constitutional rights. Now, this is the Justice Department saying that it committed unconstitutional conduct. Most judges who have busy schedules would take that and dismiss the case and applaud the Justice Department for doing it. He's not doing that. He thinks there's something sinister going on here. He has become extremely political. He's out of his lane completely. There is no other explanation for this other than that he suspects that there's something amiss, although there's no evidence of that. And since the pleadings filed by the government are, as officers of the court, in essence, under oath, he's accusing the Justice Department, by not acting, of lying. This is strange behavior for a judge, and he's actually running himself into the ground here. If he doesn't dismiss this case, the Court of Appeals, which issued the mandate, will take the case away from him, send it to another judge with an order to dismiss it. But the only way to explain his conduct is it's political.
Yeah. Another judge ordered Roger Stone to prison July 14th. He's in home confinement until then. He was supposed to surrender tomorrow, June 30th, but because of coronavirus, he asked, because of his health, for a delay, because he said that prison would be bad for his health. He only got a 2-week delay. Do you think that President Trump will pardon Roger Stone?
He probably won't pardon him, but he will commute his sentence before he goes to prison. He'll commute his sentence so that he doesn't have to go to prison. Remember, when a prisoner is sent to prison, he is committed to the custody of the United States Attorney General, who then determines where he goes to prison. I don't think that's ever going to happen, because I think President Trump will commute his sentence. He might even pardon Roger Stone. As you know, he retweeted a pardon petition. He, the president, retweeted a pardon petition for Roger Stone over the last couple of days. So hard to tell what the president may do on any given day, but he has spoken out publicly on this and said he believes that Roger Stone was treated unjustly. And by the way, I agree with the president. Roger Stone was not only treated unjustly, but he was treated unconstitutionally by the Mueller team. That raid on his house is a moment in history that the Justice Department should forever be ashamed of. But apparently Mueller and Weissman and this little clown Zelensky, who testified on the Hill the other day, have no compunction whatsoever about being venal and embarrassing the Justice Department. It's really quite an amazing time when you can see these career prosecutors who are supposed to be the alpha and the omega, the end all and the be all of integrity, who are so political and so sleazy. This guy Zelensky is an embarrassment to the department. His testimony the other day before Jerry Nadler's House Judiciary Committee was nothing more than triple hearsay, conjecture, and speculation. It's really an amazing time in the department, but that's because for many, many years under Obama, the Department of Justice was the single most political agency in the United States government, and it remains that way today because of career people like Zelensky. Barr's doing the best he can, but you can't fire 60,000 people.
Yeah, of course, every time Bill Barr says anything like what you just said about the political corruption at the Justice Department, he's accused of being the partisan that needs to be impeached. Let me ask you about what the Justice Department should do, Joe DiGenova, when it comes to the destruction of American cities and specifically monuments lately. We see 4 men charged in federal court this past weekend for attempting to tear down a statue of Andrew Jackson in Lafayette Square. What else should the Justice Department be doing to confront this?
Well, they're doing exactly what they should be doing, which is opening a group of grand juries around the country and indicting people for acts of violence and terrorist acts. They're doing exactly the right thing. It is, without any question, the activities are coordinated and they form the basis of a coordinated conspiratorial act under federal criminal law. And I think what people have to understand is it's one thing to take a picture of a guy tearing down a chimney or tearing down a statue and arrest that person for that act. But in order to get behind that and find out the funding, who put that person there, how did they organize, that takes subpoenas, electronic surveillance, phone records, emails, texts, and that requires grand jury subpoenas. So I have no doubt that all over this country, subpoenas are out for phone records and all sorts of other electronic records. This is going to take some time. There will be obviously charges like this from time to time of the obvious people doing acts of violence or destruction or rioting or looting. But the bigger picture, which is who funded this, what's the nature of the conspiracy, will take some more time. Barr's doing exactly the right thing. He's using grand juries all over the country and FBI agents to look in the basis of this and who's behind it. Because this is in fact seditious behavior. It's behavior designed to tear down institutions and to change our culture. Well, you can do that through political debate, but when you start rioting and tearing down buildings and burning buildings, tearing down statues, destroying public property, then you're a criminal. And these people, many of them, have become criminals.
Yeah, we need some law and order in this country, and President Trump said, I will be the law and order president. I just hope people take him seriously. Joe DiGenova, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.